started. My name is Wheeless. I'm county judge. I want to thank everybody for being here today. We're having another town hall meeting today, and hopefully those that are here today, if you've got any questions about what the county is proposing to you, hopefully you'll ask those questions today. I'll talk a little bit about the sales tax issue, and then I'll turn the meeting over to Robert Bauer with Ameris, and he can explain to you what Ameris is proposing to offer for the county and how they will proceed with that. And like I say, at any time during this, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them, because I think we'll try to make this as informal as we possibly can. So, like I say, thank you for being here this morning. We do have a sales tax proposal in front of every one of you today. Early voting started yesterday. This 1 cent sales tax will, if it's passed, will last for 5 years, and that's spelled out in the ballot title. At the end of that 5 years, the tax will go away. One thing I'd like to do today is kind of clarify this sales tax issue. There's this misconception out here today that the county, if the tax passes, the county will just freely be giving this money to Ameris if they open the hospital up, and that couldn't be further from the truth. We won't be giving any money directly to them personally. The money that we will be dispersing out to them will be based on receipts that they present to the county, and those receipts will be for certain items. It won't be for them saying, well, we're going to pay our investors or we're going to pay ourselves. That money will never happen in that manner. We will actually be paying for issues related to the hospital itself, like maintenance personnel, any type of issues that would happen to the property that need to be repaired, equipment that needs to be repaired, replaced, security, insurance on the property, anything of that nature related to the property that the county owns. That is your property. It's your property. It's our property. So that's where the money will be going toward, and it won't be going toward them coming there and saying, "Hey, I need a check from y'all today. I've got to pay John Doe." We won't be doing that, and they understand that. That's something we've talked about from day one. That we want to make sure that we're protecting you, and this is one way that we can do that is by making sure that they do not receive any money until they come and present invoices, and then we will proceed forward at that time. So we need to clarify that, make sure everybody understands that. Also, I hear people say, well, I'm not going to vote yes because this is a for-profit, and I'm not voting for anybody that's a for-profit. Well, believe it or not, CRH last year might have been a non-profit, but they were sure trying to make a profit. I don't care what business you're in, if you're not trying to make a profit, you won't be in business very long. No matter what your business status is, you've got to make money or you can't keep the doors open. So they're coming in here, if the tax passes and they have a model that they feel will work. We have been dealing with y'all since November of last year, so this is not something that we've done in the last 30 days or so. We've been working with this for roughly eight or 9 months. So we put a lot of work in it. The county attorney and myself have worked hard. Jan Thomas with the bankruptcy, he has worked hard. People need to understand there's a lot of moving parts to this whole thing to even be able to make it happen. And part of it, again, goes back to the bankruptcy last year. We're still working on that, trying to finalize some of the issues there to get our property back to where it's free and clear so that we can move forward. And so these are the things that we're doing, and it's been a lot of hours to do it, and we think it's been worth every hour and every minute that we've put in to be able to get where we're at today. I think that the people in this county definitely know, without a doubt, we need a hospital in our community. It's vital, not only for health care, but it's also vital for economic growth. I think that we will struggle in the near future if we don't get our hospital back open in more ways than one. So thank you for coming today, and I'll turn the meeting over to Robert now. And like I say, he'll tell you about their company and give you a history of what they are, who they are, and what they propose. And at any time, please ask him, me, or whoever, whatever question you would like, and we'll be more glad to answer it. Thank you.
Don't feel like you have to save your questions till the end. Thank you for coming out this morning. I know this is time you could have spent other ways, but we appreciate you coming to learn a little bit about Ameris and what we're attempting to achieve in conjunction with the county. We were approached shortly, a couple of months after the hospital closed, it was, bankruptcy was filed. I think several other groups came through prior to us getting involved or being aware of the project or the opportunity to get involved. Several other bigger hospitals from Memphis, I think you tried to talk to Woody's, I know, researched quite a few companies looking for someone that does this type of work where you go in, reopen a hospital that's been closed, whether it's been a month or a year. In some cases, we've been able to reopen hospitals that have been closed for more than 4 years. That's a little harder. Every year that goes by, the equipment in the building becomes more and more obsolete, just like your computer at home. About the time you buy it, there's a better one that comes out the next week, or it seems like every time I buy one. Medical equipment's the same way, a lot of computerization in these days. So I think the timing of this one is so much better than some we've been experiencing in the past. Our company started in '92. A gentleman named Sam Lewis was the founder, and his first hospital, he'd been in the hospital business prior to that, but for Ameris, our company. He found a little hospital in Mississippi, a small rural facility, and about 4 or 5 doctors total. And it had been closed for 4 years, and he went to the community and they asked, please help us get our hospital reopened. He did something a little unique in that community. Sam said, okay, it's going to take X amount of money to get it reopened. Pay all the people to do the work prior to actually opening it and get their money, working capital. So he went to the community and said, look, I'm going to go to the bank, and they agreed this one, that they'll fund the money we need to get it open. And the deal was, everybody that wanted to participate and wanted to see that hospital reopen was allowed to sign a note at the bank for $1,000 a piece, as a guarantee against the note that Ameris was going to take out to reopen the hospital. And I think one thing that the most important thing he told that group after he had the sufficient number of guarantees to guarantee the whole thing. And of course, he and the company guaranteed part of it, was if you're not going to use this hospital, might as well come on up here and write me that check now for your part of the thing, because it's not going to work. So having a hospital is one thing, but using it is the real thing. And I know you wouldn't be here today if you didn't think that you might have a use for the hospital. We hope you never did. You see, I hope you never have to go to the hospital. That times I got the sickest being in a hospital for a study that was, I was like 20 years old in college, needed some spending money, and volunteered for a study at the University Hospital in Birmingham. And you'd go, they'd let me go to school during the day and come back and spend the night and do tests on me, draw blood, and do whatever they were doing about blood pressure studies. And about the 6th day into the 10-day study, I got violently ill. And it was something I got from the hospital, because I was well when I got there. So you don't want to be in a hospital, you don't have to be. That's my point. And that's where germs live, because of sick people come to hospitals. We do our best to prevent that, to deal with it when we do have instances of that. So our company has opened several hospitals, some new that we developed from where there was no hospital in the area. We've done reopenings of hospitals that were closed, and we've done leases on hospitals that were operating but about to close, or for whatever reason the current operator wanted to leave that facility, and that was their right to do, and we just had to work out that we could come in behind them. Obviously, this one is not operational, so there's more work to do to get it up and running than if it had been running all along. Ameris has had some success and some failures. We're no different than any other company out there. And you can look at the biggest companies, ACA, community health systems, like all the big restaurant chains, some of theirs don't work. And, you have the best intentions, you go in there, you do what you're supposed to do, and sometimes either for your own fault or for things that are way beyond your control. And that, in our involves a lot of governmental regulations, they're constantly changing. Medicare has, I think, they're up to over 160,000 pages of regulations just for Medicare. That's just one entity we deal with. I think the last time I counted, I came up with 17 federal agencies that a hospital has to deal with. Everything from FDA to OSHA to even Nuclear Regulatory Commission. You didn't think about that in a hospital, but if you're doing studies, there are certain heart studies that involve nuclear material. You do certain scans with that, you have to comply with all their regulations. That's beyond that. So it's a very complex business. Peter Drucker was a management guru, kind of the father of modern management techniques. And he says, even in one of his textbooks, hospitals are the most complex industry or businesses to manage, just because of all the moving parts and all the different agencies you have to deal with and comply with all the different rules. Sometimes those rules conflict from one entity to the other. So it's not an easy thing to do, but that's what we've chosen as a company to do, and we do the best that we can with what we've got. So, if there's any questions about Ameris or that, you're welcome to raise those or save those for later. I want to talk about the hospital and what our plans are. Obviously, the tax is part of what has to happen before we do anything. We agreed because, I think, mainly because it was offered and actually passed for the previous operator. They were in trouble financially and asked the county to do this, and the county responded overwhelmingly positive and made it happen. I think before anything, any of the proceeds of the tax can be collected and distributed back for them to use, it was just too late. Things just didn't work out for them. I don't know all the details, and it doesn't matter at this point. So, getting the tax passed first thing. We have another issue we've got to get through, is the lease. And I think we're very close on the lease. We've been meeting working on it for about 2 weeks. Met yesterday. I think we have almost a final version. I'm sure one or two more people in our company need to look at it, our attorney. But after that, I think we'll have a lease by the end of the week. Now, for that lease to be perfected, it has several liens against it, and the bankruptcy process will help us clear those liens. Obviously, you wouldn't want to go enter into a lease, or a long-term lease on a property, put all this money in to get it up and running, and then all of a sudden, something negative happens because of the existing lien that you didn't perfect and take care of before you started. So we are working very closely with Mr. Thomas on getting to the point where that can be done, and he certainly has the authority and the ability to make that happen once we come to a final agreement. We're actually contributing to actual money to bankruptcy, and that hopefully will get those things clear. There's another key thing that has to happen, and that makes the lease ready to go. And then finally, our investor group, we have not raised money yet because of all of those unknowns I just mentioned. Once they are known, once we know we can go forward, then it's basically in the hands of the investors. Ameris is a management company and a development company. We don't have a big pile of money sitting in Nashville that we're just going to send over here and spend. We raise money pretty much independently on each hospital that we do. So we'll have one set of investors for this hospital, or maybe a slightly different set, some of the same people, but not all the same on another one. And that's what we'll be doing in this process. Some of the investors in Ameris will invest their own money in this deal. opportunities, because they see where one with the County Care Act, Affordable Care Act, that commonly known as Obamacare, that there's more money coming into the system, more people have been insured. Arkansas, unlike a lot of southeastern states, actually participated in the expanded Medicaid program, which was part of the new law. So your community, I think, signed up over 6,500 people just in that plan alone. And a hospital, before it closed, noticed that that money was actually helping to reduce their bad debt and the number of patients and the amount of money that they were having to write off because they didn't have insurance or couldn't pay. So even in their last month or two, they noticed a big change. We've spoken with many physicians here, pretty much every doctor that we meet with us in the county, or that used to provide care here in this county, whether they lived here or not. And they tell us that they noticed on their practice side, where they were running their own practices, that their receipts had gone up, and they attributed that directly to the fact that Arkansas participated fully in the Obamacare laws. Another thing that Obamacare did was it required all insurance policies to cover mental health, behavioral health services. While that didn't exist here prior to closure, that may be a program that we look at in the future. Many of our hospitals, we have seen one, if there was a need for, in particular, for geriatric patients. These patients will be, whether they're at home or in a nursing home, sometimes they'll have 4, 5, 6 physicians, different specialists that are taking care of them. They're all writing prescriptions for different things. And no one doctor is sitting there trying to figure out, well, if I give them this medicine, is it going to interfere or interact negatively with another medicine another doctor gave? And that causes, a lot of times, behavioral issues that don't allow for that patient to stay home and be cared for, or even stay in a nursing home where they have more care. So those kind of programs, geriatric, psychiatric programs, and it's a very specific niche within mental health care, but it's very needed, and we see even in much smaller communities that those programs work, and fortunately, they are still profitable and they provide a great service. So that's something to look at, maybe not day one, but sometime in the future. To start with, we'd like to have, we certainly will have, emergency services, and probably do it the way that it was being done towards the end of the last operations, where they had a regular ER where serious issues were dealt with, and then I call it fast track or urgent care side. Those patients may have just an earache or sore throat or need a few stitches, things that can be handled quickly where they're not having to wait behind somebody that's having a myocardial infarction or a stroke or trauma or something more serious that will take away that staff and their time dealing with it. And the person that's just there to get their ear looked at and waits for 3 or 4 hours. That's something we've always looked at in our hospitals, is to try to reduce wait times. Nothing's more frustrating than going to a doctor, to a hospital, or even a doctor's office, and waiting well beyond what we think is reasonable. We all understand things happen, and you may get pushed to the back of the line for somebody else that's more serious than you, but I think what they had set up was a good approach to deal with that one issue. So we'll certainly do that. We will start with some inpatient capacity to do overnight stays, whether it's one night or multiple nights. But on that side of the house, we're not going to open. This hospital was licensed for 150 days. What we can tell from the old records, they did an average hardly 40 patients per day on average. So you can see you don't need all the beds. You certainly wouldn't open and staff all those beds just because they're there. You staff them as they're needed and as your volume and demand goes up. And hopefully, our job is to create that demand so that we continually go up. Now, hospital business is seasonal. You have a much higher inpatient demand volume during the winter months, the cold months, right? As people are forced inside and they share their germs and just more pneumonia and other things that people have to be admitted, from today. And so that would require overnight stays. So we will have an inpatient presence, whether that's one set of nurses and a team that take care of 8 patients to start, and then we add them as we need them. We're going to be very flexible in the way we staff the hospital, especially on the sides where volume goes up and down quite a bit. A lot of the outpatient services, they just kind of continue at a steady state throughout the year, and aren't as affected by the time of the year or the season. So to do all of the outpatient, we certainly will have radiology, everything from CT to MRI, regular x-rays, fluoroscopy, mammograms, ultrasound, all your basic radiology imaging modalities, as well as a full service lab. So we do most of what we do, unless it's just some very esoteric test that it doesn't make sense for us to do if it's only once or twice a year. We send those out to the reference lab for that. Beyond that, we'll have a respiratory therapist, people that take care of do all the EKGs and do the pulmonary testing and treatments. We'll also have a full complement of support services. That can be anything from county to maintenance, which Judge talked about earlier, to food service, housekeeping, environmental services, all the things it takes to run a hospital, beyond just the nurses and the clinical people. So that will be our opening collection, I guess, of services, and we will add to those as we see fit in relation to the demand. It has to be there. We're not going to open something that we don't think there will be enough to support it or to justify financially or even in quality terms. Take OB, for instance. Obstetrics, if you only delivered, say, 50 babies a year, it would be very hard to keep your nurses, even your physicians to some degree, very current on the best practices in that environment where you only say doing 1 week. So if OB is, where it looks like 1 a day, that makes that a lot more viable as a service, and it makes it safer. Heart surgery, basically the recommendation for hospitals on heart surgery is that you really shouldn't even have an open heart program for surgery if you're not doing at least 250 cases a year. So OB has some of the same guidelines for what's safe and what's not safe. So that will, safety, quality, and concern for the outcomes for those patients will drive those decisions as much as the financial side. So those are kind of just a quick overview, and what I would like to do, or spend the rest of our time doing, is just fielding questions and hearing your concerns or comments about the future of the hospital. I'll open it up. Anybody wants to?
Excuse me, you didn't mention anything about surgery. Or
Yeah,
we
we
got
have
the hours.
inpatient and outpatient surgery. Outpatient would be by far the dominant amount of surgery volume. You used to go to a hospital and spend a whole week in a hospital just to get your gallbladder out. Thank goodness they came up with ways to do it without opening it all the way up. Putting little scopes in there and sucking it out through a straw, basically. Then you're home, you're back to work in 2 days. Since a lot of that technology and new techniques have come about, outpatient surgery is the dominant type of surgery in most hospitals. Certainly in smaller hospitals, community hospitals like this. Go ahead.
First of all, have you all done this in Arkansas?
We 6, about a year after it went up. So I have dealt with them, but I'm familiar with Arkansas hospitals.
And are they successful? Have they been
They're still
successful?
open.
Consider that successful.
Look at this one.
Because I've heard, can you repeat?
Absolutely, that's what I want you to do.
I've heard from several people that you all have bankrupted hospitals, which I know that can't be true. And there has been a mention of the block thing, and I don't know anything about, I don't know anything about that, but if you guys are willing to put various $1 million into this, starting off.
We have no
I can't-
intention of bankruptcy.
Well, I can't, what happened to
And there was no
bankruptcy?
there was no bankruptcy involved in the two Arkansas.
You did withdraw.
Yes, we left after 5 years and not paying ourselves and losing all our money. Yes.
So
Made
you-
quite a gift to
I
Mississippi.
didn't know that. So you left and that hospital is still open?
Yes.
We entered an agreement with them.
And we didn't leave like Baptist did. Baptist gave 30-day notice after running it for 9 years. With all their money and resources, they finally said, we can't operate here anymore. They had a lot of reasons. You can speculate on any one reason, but there were multiple reasons for that. And we came in 30 days notice, and that's a mistake we're not making on this opportunity. We're doing our due diligence. We're taking our time. Some people may not appreciate that, but we don't want to rush into another lease like we had in Arkansas, Mississippi, and hospitals. 30 days is not enough time to do a full set of due diligence where you're looking at all their contracts, you're looking at their prior financials, you're looking at their mix of employees, what types they have, you're looking at the management team to decide if you want to keep some of them, all of them, none of them. It's a little different here because hospitals closed, so it's a little easier to do. But with 30-day notice, that was not sufficient. So we made a mistake just by trying to be good guys and go in there and keep that hospital from closing. It was going to close in 30 days. And like here, as far as I'm aware, there were no companies chasing after that opportunity. It was going to be us or it was going to close. They could have come up with something else, I'm sure. Maybe the county did something on an emergency basis. They would have had to spend a lot of money like we did.
So you guys came in and bought it,
We did.
and then you were there for
No,
5
we didn't buy it, we leased it.
leased it.
Yes,
You were there for 5 years,
5 years.
and then someone else is taking it up.
The county took the operations back and they hired a management company to run it. The way we did it is we had a lease with the company we created, and we had, Ameris had a management agreement with that new company that had the lease. Same thing for this opportunity.
So basically, it's the same sort of thing. Was that-
The main difference is, Forum is a national company that does hospital management, and they're based in
So
Nashville.
is that one of the ones that you were not successful with?
Yes. I would say if I lost $5 million again, I'd say that was successful.
Assuming that the county votes yes, assuming Mr. Thomas can work out the liens with the bankruptcy, are you relatively confident that your investors, you can raise the funds?
I am, but I'm not them. I don't
Yeah,
make that decision.
but your opinion is you can.
From all our discussions, yes. They're very interesting.
So you've got the Ameris group, and you said some of those individuals will invest, but then there's this whole separate group of investors. So help me understand where they come from.
There's some based in the funds, so I don't know the names of the people who invested in those funds, but those fund managers,
Okay.
their job is to invest the money for all the people that invested in their fund.
Have you,
So I don't know the individuals.
Right.
They're based in Louisville. There's, I think one of them is, I can't get a straight answer, but we'll find out once we know that we're doing this. business, and we go to them and say, okay, who is this? Is based in London, so.
So you have broached the subject with this, somebody at Ameris has talked to some of these investors about this possibility?
So, and actually started that process on some other projects that we have going that they were interested in July of last year.
So if you had this crystal ball in front of you,
Yes.
do you have a feel for what the time frame might be to get all of the investments pulled together so that
The
investments
investments
are committed
If I
to it?
believe the person who's representing
Yeah.
these folks, they say, oh, a month or two, you can get this thing done. That's pretty quick, when you're raising multiple millions of dollars.
So is it in the lease agreement? Is that where it's defined when Ameris takes possession of the facility?
We don't have a date. It is whenever it happens. I don't have a crystal ball, but I can tell you it'll take a minimum of about 6 months to get this started. One of the key things to make that happen is why I think probably one of the main reasons we failed in Mississippi County is that you have to have a computer system, information system, hospital, it's HIM, hospital information management system that runs all your billing, it runs all the clinical aspects of the hospital, your lab tests, your radiology tests get reported to it. It's a very big undertaking to start from scratch to implement one of those systems. Now, in Arkansas, when we started there, that made 5 hospitals. We said, okay, let's be a real company and make it a standard platform, software platform for all of our facilities. So we purchased 5 of those in, I think, 06, no, 05. We started implementing the first 2 in Arkansas. And that just happened for whatever reason to be the year that the company we bought the system from, that was their largest sales year in their history. And I think since then too. And they were sending people out to help us start the system and train our people that had only been employed 2 weeks. And the people they sent up, we knew more about their system than their people knew, in 2 weeks training. That's not an excuse, it's our fault for allowing that to happen or getting into that position in the first place. But some of that got us off on a bad start. If you don't have a system that works properly, it's real hard to collect your money, bill and collect. And if you don't collect money, you eventually run out of other people's money. I don't know if that answers some of your questions.
I was wondering if, Jan, Joe, Woody could maybe get into more specifics about the hurdles that need to be addressed prior to the lease actually being able to be signed. So, just so the public will know, pretty much exactly what has to transpire for this thing to become a reality.
I can address that, and Mr. Thomas and I are working on that as we speak. It's a primarily the secured claims of the bondholders that financed the construction of the previous hospital, or, there were several different bonds issued over the years. Some of them would be constructing hospitals, some of them would be renovating, some of them would be, paying off the old bonds, getting new bonds because they had better interest rates and things of that nature. They have those bondholders have a first lien on all the county's properties in the hospital complex. Also on all the assets that Crittenden Hospital Association had, every penny. And so we've got to satisfy them first. And they will receive all their money because they've got top priority over everybody. There are funds to pay them. Then you have there was another lien holder, First Security Bank, and I think they're in Searcy. They loaned some money at the time of those bonds were reissued back in 2007, 2008. They loaned some money to do some energy efficiency, lighting primarily in the hospital. And so they have what we refer to as a secondary lien. Now their lien is not as well secured, There's some legal issues with that, so, you know, we're negotiating, we believe we're about to reach an agreement with them for them to take X amount of dollars to satisfy that lien. And the other secured liens you have are the situation with the people who were doing repairs on the hospital as a virtue of the fire. A lot of those folks didn't get paid. They got paid some, but they didn't get paid everything. So they have a claim of a lien against some funds, primarily insurance funds that didn't get expended. In other words, they came into the bankruptcy court. And so out of those, and then of course the county itself we've incurred quite a bit of expenses keeping the property open. And there's part of the hospital that was not finished. In other words, repairs were started, but they weren't finished. So the county has a claim. But we feel like that we've almost reached an agreement where we can satisfy all those, and that is subject to court approval. And Mr. Thomas can tell you about that. But we still got to get a little bit more money to do that, and we're hoping that Ameris helps us with that. So that's primarily those issues. And then we'll be allowed to go forward with the property free and clear, so we can give them a lease where they'll have unencumbered possession of the property for the term of the lease.
Trevor, do you know if that was done today, an agreement? Everybody said, okay, yes, let's go.
Well, Mr. Thomas can maybe address that better than I can.
I don't know the process.
How long it would take to satisfy that? You're probably looking at, assuming no objections, 30, 40 days. And it's this close to getting noticed out. Waiting on two signatures.
So we've come a long way to resolving those issues, and everybody had to yield a little bit, except for the first lien holder, and the one they weren't going to give because they were holding all the cards, so to speak.
Financially speaking, will the county, assuming you're the only player in the game, and Ameris or Mid-South Community Hospital is not able to come to the table at that time, as far as securing your short-term financing, you'll need to resolve those issues in order to obtain that clear lease. Do you have a general idea about what you might need to borrow?
Well, Mr. Thomas can kind of tell you, how much money we think we need to come up with, and that's what we're trying to accomplish right now.
I'm not in a position to tell you the exact amount at this time.
But, we feel confident that we can get that done. We really feel confident that working with Ameris and that we can get that done.
We don't get it done, the alternative is sell everything.
Correct. It's not,
And just, since you have a tax and you have a source of revenue that most,
Well, bankruptcy will not touch any of the tax money.
no, what I'm saying is, it will give you an avenue as a security for any type of borrowing power that the county may need to obtain, because the lender will understand that tax is there to help repay some of those funds, if not all of them.
well, we had approached borrowing, the county had approached borrowing money, but, we feel like that the things are in place to accomplish it. We think that we don't think that's going to be an impediment to it, but we think we'll be able to do that.
And that's the only reason why I asked, is just so everybody have an understanding.
Right,
clear
and it's
understanding.
not, the tax monies are not going to pay any of that, because that's not, tax monies, and if for some reason we couldn't get this done, we feel like we will be able to, but if for some reason we couldn't, then, there are, like it was done before, there are avenues where you can go back and go to court and get an injunction against the collection of the tax. The reason we schedule the tax for when it's scheduled before everything was resolved, because it's kind of like property said it's the chicken or the egg. You've got to get these things resolved, but one of them we knew we had to get. We had to get the tax in place. If we don't get the tax in place, then the Ameris is not coming. And we don't have any other options right now to try to operate it. But, you know, we had to do that, and we're also looking at this license issue. You know, the license expires, and the hospital expires on September 7th. But, you know, they've given us reason to believe that they're going to extend that for us. You know, as long as we're making progress toward resolving it. But why we set the tax when we did is because at that point in time, we didn't know whether they would give us an extension or not. So we were looking at having to try to potentially open the hospital by September the 7th, and so we had to get the tax in place to do that.
I understand that's the catalyst, which everything else is going by around, I understand that.
Right, but no, the tax proceeds, we want everybody to understand, the tax proceeds are not to be used to pay any debts. They're to be used to operate, to assist in the operation of the hospital, to do what the law allows us to do, to assist in the operations of the hospital.
Is there any way, Joe, to have somebody put that in the newspaper?
Well, we can try to give a press release, the judge can give a press release. I mean, there are ways to, like I said, like it happened before, you know, there was an injunction issue. Now, the only way you can repeal the tax is voted on by the people is to have the people vote on it, and that's the law in Arkansas. But you can go to a court and say, Judge, look, you know, we're not going to be able to open the hospital at this point in time, and so rather than the people paying taxes, you know, we're requesting you to suspend the collection of the tax. That's what happened before. The judge never ruled that the tax was illegal or anything. What he did was he issued a temporary injunction against the collection of the tax until it could go back to the people to determine whether they wanted the tax or not. You know, if the people had voted to keep it on, then it would have stayed on. You know, it was a temporary injunction. It wasn't a final decision of the judge.
But the baby steps here, we've got to get the tax approved.
Right.
And I'm just wondering, you were saying what it was not gonna go for.
Right.
I'm just wondering if that could be published in the paper, because there's so many people, am I right about, there's so many people that don't understand that part of it. And they think that the money's gonna be turned over in a basket.
Well, we're planning to, with Ameris' permission, we're planning to make this lease available. And also, the judge will be glad to, you know, I'll speak to the newspaper or something like that, explain to them, you know, what the substance of it is. The substance of it is that we are paying for maintenance. We're paying for things that people that own property can do. If you own property, even though you've got at least you can pay the taxes, you can pay the insurance, you can pay the utilities, you can pay maintenance staff, you can pay for repairs, all kinds of things that you can legally pay for because you own the property. That's what this tax is for.
I would hope that it would be in black and white, so we could take it and give it to somebody
Right.
that's mouthing about, oh, you know, we're just gonna give all that money.
Yeah. Well, we'll come up with a handout that the judge can give to the newspaper, and with Ameris' permission, we'll distribute this lease, although the lease document is pretty detailed, you know.
We have no reason to object to the lease being public.
I just
I
think
think
it's
that's,
the
I think a
tax.
summary of
I
it.
think that's the tax.
The tax is the issue.
They said they're gonna give it to Ameris, that's what
Yeah,
I'm,
well,
gonna give the money to Ameris.
That's a
stupid.
misconception, that's not gonna happen. And the judge at every opportunity has been telling people that he gives a chance to all town hall meetings, and, you know, that's not gonna happen. Now, under the old tax, that was gonna happen. But we're dealing with a different situation here, and we're not only are we seeking to assure the people that the county's gonna protect this money and use it solely for the purposes that I just mentioned. You know, but we're not gonna carte blanche turn it over to anybody. We can't legally, first of all, we can't.
Well, I wish that would be
We'll try our best to get
before
that out.
before the election.
We'll try our best to get that out.
The bond issue that's attached to the hospital now,
Yeah, that's the debt that's on the hospital now, was the bond issue of 2007. That's that, both of those big debts that occurred, deficiency, paying off the old bonds and issuing new bonds, and the energy efficiency, one of them was, I think, 8 million, and one of round figures, and the other was
2 million.
2 million, so those were the big debts. That, and then the lien claimants had several $1 million worth of claims that had been on people that were doing the repair work on that. But a lot of the money that we're utilizing for this to resolve all these things came from, as far as the liens so-called concerned, came from, the lien claimants came from the insurance proceeds. See, that never got all in to get paid out. It's in the bankruptcy. Some 4 million.
4.7 million.
and that's gonna get this physical facility free and clear.
That's what this settlement is proposing to do.
Did you say Ameris brings the money too?
To the bankruptcy.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
It's not done yet, so.
Well, I think that's a point that's important for people too, to know that you guys are not sticking out just with your hand out all the time, but you're actually contributing too.
It's an investment. It's
It's,
worth, anything.
It's,
Invest in.
they see it as an opportunity for their investors to make money, but, you know, and everybody that we've talked to a number of different hospital organizations, they all tell you that there's a drag at the beginning. They're gonna spend a lot of money when they first get started, before they never collect it back. Because you collect it from insurance, you collect it from Medicare, you don't get your money today, and so you're gonna be burning through money. So that's why the need for the tax is to provide assistance. Because otherwise you get in, you know, you start out in such a deep hole that you can't dig your way out of it.
I'm like me, I just think that kind of information should be made public, so that the people who are going to be voting are voting intelligently and not based on what somebody said they heard from their second cousin down the road last week.
Because that is going right.
I know, and we're trying our best with the judge. He can kind of tell you what he's trying to, you know, a lot of people are on social media, I'm not, but some people are. And so you try to get it out that way, and we're trying to get it out to the newspaper and through these town hall meetings. That the county, we've learned a lot of things from this situation with what happened before. And we're hoping not to make the same mistakes that we made before. And the county didn't, you know, we didn't know. We tried to know, but it was such a short-term thing that they brought it to us as, you know, we gotta have this stay open, and there really wasn't time to do due diligence to find out whether it would actually keep it open. We were told it would. Obviously, it turned out it didn't.
Indeed, you know, you're on Facebook just like I am. I try to share as much information out here every day, and I spend as much time as I possibly can answering every question everybody asks on Facebook. But I have posted on Facebook 1,000,000 times that we're not giving any money to them directly. But still, people have that misconception that yes, we're writing a blank check to them and they can have a good time. But that's not the case at all.
What is that group that has attacked you?
I don't know who that group is. I have no idea who they are. I have no
Smart,
idea who they are.
what is it?
I have no idea.
You know, most
Everybody,
consulting
I
thing.
say this, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but at the end of the day, all I'm putting out there for the people is the facts and what I know is current today.
There are older people that are not, don't get emails and don't are on Facebook, such as my mom and a bunch of, and they've heard, and they vote, they're they need to see it in black and white.
Everybody that sees anybody can tell the good law. The newspaper had notice of all of these meetings. And except for the last night meeting, I've been to every one of them. I haven't seen a newspaper person there yet.
Really?
They were the very first one that we had, Jim, the very first one, they were there.
That's all I see.
Did a pretty good write-up in the newspaper.
They need to come, they need to come again.
This is a great, it's all right.
This will be broadcast out on the local networks.
You know, we're very appreciative that these guys do what they're doing to get the information out to the public also.
Off the record, where I'm from in Alabama, there's a saying that everybody has an opinion, just like a rear end. Long ago. I could use a different word, but,
There's no doubt Mid-South Community Hospital, LLC, is going to have a business model that you're going to be bringing to operate this hospital with. Economic conditions, regulations, everything's going to alter that business model. So I was asking that as you see things that you will need to make changes to, will we be able to communicate those through the court or through the public media? So everybody understands some changes that you will need to make in order to maintain a profitable operation. Because we all understand if you're not making a profit, you're gone. You know, we understand this is a business. So we just, how can we keep that line of communication open with your staff?
one of the ways we're attempting to do that is by having a local advisory board actually has a lot of accountability and authority, except on the major financial decisions. That'll be whoever our investors want to appoint. They'll own most of Mid-South Community Hospital, LLC. But we get offered up to 3 seats on that board from local. I guess the board will appoint those, or you'll come up with some method of appointing local people, whoever it is you think will serve the best. We would like to have business-minded people on there. It doesn't have to be, but it certainly makes it a little better when they hear something, they can go out and tell whoever wants to know. You know, it's not going to be a public entity, so we won't have the news in there filming every board meeting. But we certainly understand that we have to keep our message out there, and we want the message to be as accurate as possible. So we will engage the media whenever it's appropriate, and whenever we think there's something worth telling.
Because we have
Good or bad.
I would hope that they would be able to work through your staff when something needs to really be addressed, that we'll have that opportunity.
If you get crossways with the media, I mean, whether you're right or wrong, they can kill you. So,
I was wondering if you could touch on your employee benefit package, kind of a general overall scope of how you're seeing that.
we'll have a typical package that most hospitals would offer. Won't be the richest one, they won't be the leanest. Typically, we have all your major benefits, like health insurance, disability insurance, short and long term. We'll offer a 401k with some amount of match. Generally, the retirement side, the 401k side is not quite, that's where you have the lease match up with bigger nonprofit or tax exempt organizations, you know, where they may fund just an automatic amount when an employee contributes or not. Most of our type companies don't do that. But we'll match, you know, if the employee makes an effort, we'll match up to a certain percentage. And then we'll have, you know, vacation days and sick time, all the other normal benefits.
Will you be offering to the former employees that you would need, would you be offering them, I guess, first strike?
Yeah, and I would say.
Nursing, the next one.
200.
200. Plus resumes, got 20 resumes.
And we have, we put out
Oh, really?
a request for applications, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're already coming in whether we've asked for them or not. And with the help of the people that were here before, we'll figure out which ones are the most productive workers and have the best attitudes, and specific parameters on how much of your net revenue, that's the money you collect, what percentage of that you spend on salaries, benefits, supplies, and other particular expense items. And for salaries, salaries are the largest one category of expenses for a hospital. We're a service industry, and that's why we have most of our expenses weighted on the salary side. Paying, a nurse can make $50,000, $70,000. Some of them right out of school can do that, So, and that aspirin that you complain about costing $10, well, that's what I have to pay to get that aspirin from the bottle to your mouth. You got to pay $150,000 a year pharmacist just to say, okay, you can have that. Then I've got all manner of people in between the pharmacist and actually getting to a patient, $70,000 nurse for one, having to administer that. If you wanted to break it all down, it costs us way more than what we charge. But, that's the most often used example as an aspirin or Tylenol or whatever. But I think you get the point from what I'm telling you.
I think one of the unique things about Crittenden, and I guess the small town hospitals, is being able to go and, Jane Doe, from the community, and she's the nurse here, and yada. So y'all aren't bringing in, just so we can tell you that y'all aren't bringing in your own crew of nursing and all that kind of stuff.
We don't have nurses sitting on the shelf in Nashville. And all of our hospitals are very, compared to the large public company, hospital companies, we don't have huge staff sitting in Nashville directing every single thing that goes on day-to-day operations of our facilities. We are very decentralized. We just have a handful of people in Nashville, and we pretty much expect that our leadership on the ground, CEOs, CFOs, CMOs, all the department heads, any manager in our facilities, that they conduct the business of the hospital without me micromanaging what they do. That may not make sense here, where it maybe did make sense at another hospital, different situation, different community, different doctors, different set of circumstances. So that's why we never are ascribing to be an ACA and have that big central corporate office with hundreds of people running around. But that's just not us. We are in a niche that not many companies are willing to fill as far as the type hospitals that we're willing to look at and to actually work with. I think that's probably evident from the number of suitors that you've had so far, or serious.
Well, one thing too, just to throw out, the majority of all the rural hospitals around this area, and for that matter, across the state of Arkansas, have some sort of a supplemental type of revenue source coming in through their county, like whether it's a sales tax or a millage or something of that sort. They've got some sort of a supplemental revenue coming in to assist them to keep them open. Mississippi County, just brought up Mississippi County, last year, I think in October, they passed a 1/2 cent sales tax for 5 years. Cross County Hospital has a tax in place right now. So the smaller hospitals around here have some sort of a tax in to be able to supplement them to keep them open, because the rural hospitals don't generate enough revenue for the most part to take care of everybody that's out there that needs that care.
Just saying, just in Forest City, they have a tax.
I believe they do have a tax also. I forgot about that. Forest City, I believe they do. One set Canada does, that's Cross, I mean Cross County, as far as Cross County does, because I think they're affiliated with St. Bernard's Hospital out of Jonesboro.
We're seeing that all over southeast, we're looking at other hospitals. And we've got one outside the southeast, our first venture into Mexico, where that community passed a tax to support a new hospital where theirs has been closed for almost 10 years. And similar situation, a big hospital in Albuquerque, operated it for years years and then decided it's just not gonna work, or leave it closed. And they have actually already collected their tax, their money is already sitting there in an escrow account. Yes, for a little bit of interest, waiting for the hospital to be built.
Six of my 9 surgeries have been here. Just say I'm accident prone, but you very small things. But I'm also on the lending board, and you were talking about your building department. That probably, from my standpoint as a lender, is one of the most frustrating things I have to deal with is your building department messing up everybody's credit report. Crittenden Hospital was notorious for doing that. You would go in and they'd say, you get a discount if you go ahead and pay, we write the check, we pay it, and they turn it over to collection company within a matter of a couple of days. So, there's gotta be checks and balances in there to help cure that problem. I don't know what your hospital's gonna be able to offer, or your management team.
You
to
have
try to
to
prevent those things from
dedicate,
happening.
you have to dedicate people to do that specific job and make sure that doesn't happen.
As I see those pop up in the future, I can bring them to your attention and you'll kind of give us some oversight.
You know, when I was a hospital CEO of several places, I hated complaints. So if you came to me, and if you knew it, I didn't advertise it. I just ran those suckers off. I didn't want an unhappy patient. I wanted them to come back. So if it's a matter of a few $100s and it was gonna make you happy and I've already got to pay $2,000 from your insurance company, the easiest thing for my life and the best thing for you was for me to write it off. Now, I'm not saying that's the policy, but that's how I've dealt with it in the past, where there was a very grievous error on our part that caused that to happen. And then I would call, I would actually call the credit agency and say.
So that's what we need to happen is we need, so this was reported error, please remove the number.
That's what I expect.
Okay. It didn't happen before. Yeah, it was pulling teeth, so.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's good.
I second that.
Other questions, comments? Should we thank you for being out today, and if you have other questions, check Facebook. I think the judge is keeping up with that on a daily basis. Thank
Well, I
you.
just want to, I want to personally say thank you to Woody and Joe and Jan and y'all for continuing to strive to get this done. Because y'all can all throw your hands up.
So that's the easy thing to
Yeah.
do.
So forget it.
I wasn't elected to do that.
So I thank y'all.
I think it's really important we have a hospital.
It's an economic development engine for any people have a hospital. It's hard to convince employers to put a new plan here or hire a bunch of employees and expect them to do it.
I won't promise I'm gonna leave you on.